You know, these guys had to have been hiding under a rock or something. Startling new theory? What do you mean a startling new theory? Lots of people, including me, were doing videos on it about 2 months ago. That it started from a scientist in the Hubei Virology Institute who got first sprayed by blood that was infected with COVID-19 from a bat, went to the hospital, probably ended up infecting people in the hospital, and 2 weeks later got urinated on by a bat and went back to the same hospital and probably infected more people in the same hospital. And that's, from what I understand anyways, where it had come from. There is absolute paper evidence of the doctor going to the hospital. There is absolute paper evidence of him arriving there from the Hubei Virology Institute. And there's absolute paperwork of him arriving there twice. And both times it was foreign liquid material from an animal. First one was blood, second one was urine. So the fuck is this stupid, startling new theory? New? What? We've been saying this from the beginning. Anyways, let's read this. Did coronavirus leak from a research lab in Wuhan? Oh shit, Sherlock. Startling new theory is no longer being discounted amid claims staff got infected after being sprayed with blood and urine. There was one doctor that got sprayed with blood and one doctor and one nurse that got sprayed with urine. Watch, in 4 years' time, it's going to come out and people are going to say, wow, man, that guy, Paramount Cyclops, was actually fucking right. How did he figure that out? Huh? Gee, it's amazing what you can do when you have a VPN. British politicians fear that the coronavirus pandemic may have been caused by a leak from a Chinese laboratory, the Mail on Sunday has revealed. People have been revealing this 2 months ago. I revealed it 2 months ago. Lots of people revealed it 2 months ago. Welcome to the party. Senior sources in the British government say that while the balance of scientific advice is still that the deadly virus was first transmitted to humans from a live animal market in Wuhan, bullshit. The Virology Institute is literally 100 yards from the open-air market. The hospital that the scientist went to is literally across the street on the other side of the open-air market. Think about it. Live animal market in Wuhan. A leak from a laboratory in the Chinese city is no longer being discounted. It shouldn't have been discounted in the first place. It's the most likely scenario. Think about it. You have an open-air market, okay? Then you just so happen, really close to that open-air market, you have a virology institute that is studying all kinds of different viruses and things like that. And then this virus outbreak happens. Which one is the more likely source? Duh. God, man. The member of the Cobra Committee, which receives detailed classified briefings from the security services, said there is a credible alternative view to the zoonotonic theory based on the nature of the virus. Perhaps it is no coincidence there is that laboratory in Wuhan. It is not discounted. It is absolutely. The paperwork shows it. The paperwork shows late November, right when those Chinese biologists were going through American airports with dangerous live, viable samples of deadly diseases through American airports, and they weren't declaring them, and they were trying to hide it, and they're trying to be sneaky, hush, taking these deadly diseases and transporting them right through our airports and not declaring them, or saying that they were something that they weren't, that they were antibodies when they were really deadly viruses. Right about that same time, paperwork in China shows that the doctor from the Hubei Virology Institute went twice within a 1 week period, 9 days, like a week and 2 days. Within a week and 2 day period, went to the hospital twice from being exposed to infected blood and infected urine, other biological fluids. So what do you mean it's not discounted? It's 99.9999% probable. Wuhan is home to the Institute of Virology. The Hubei Institute of Virology is what it's called. The most advanced laboratory of its type in the Chinese mainland, which incidentally is supported by the government, and they have been accused in the past and currently of making biological weapons. Interesting fact. So I'm going to spew you some facts that people don't know and people are scared to say, but what do I care? It's the truth. The $36 million institute. No, it's not a $36 million institute. It's like a $180 million institute. Based 10 miles from the infamous wildlife market with an annex literally 100 yards from it, is supposed to be one of the most secure virology units in the world. Bullshit. Bullshit. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. The state-run People's Daily newspaper said in 2018 that it was capable of conducting experiments with highly pathogenic microorganisms, such as the deadly Ebola virus, which they had been doing. And they had been transporting it from there through American airports willy-nilly, because they don't give a rat's ass about American lives. That's why they started shipping medical supplies from all around the world to Wuhan and Hubei, because they knew. They knew. They had forethought because they knew. They'd been studying it. Scientists at the institute were first to suggest that the virus genome was 96% similar to one commonly found in bats. But despite its reputation for high security, there have been unverified local reports that workers at the institute became infected after being sprayed by blood and then carried the infection to the local population. Ding, 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 correctamundo. A second institute in the city, the Wuhan Center for Disease Control, which is barely 3 miles from the market and also has an annex about 150 yards from the annex for the Hubei Virology Institute, literally right up the road from the open-air market, which is barely 3 miles, is also believed to have carried out experiments on animals such as bats to examine the transmission of coronavirus. And I would wager right now that it was more than just to study the virology of it. I believe it was to see the efficacy of it possibly being a biological weapon. Paperwork that I have seen, traces that I have seen, and reports that I have seen from locals, and believe you me, scientists at the Hubei Virology Institute, they like to get on Weibo and spew their guts as well. Weibo is essentially the Facebook/TikTok pretty much of China. And I would say that they were doing it on purpose for a biological weapon, a chance of being a biological weapon. American biosecurity expert Professor Richard Ebright of Rutgers University, Waksman Institute of Microbiology, New Jersey, said that while the evidence suggests COVID-19 was not created in one of the Wuhan laboratories, it could easily have been. Evidence does show that it was created there. You can't go with the officials. Get on Weibo and see what the locals say. Professor Ebright has said he has seen evidence that scientists at the Centers for Disease Control and the Institute of Virology studied the virus with only level 2 security rather than the recommended level 4, which provides only minimal protections against infection of lab workers. Yeah, it's because I believe, from what I've seen, that they were being pushed. Get this biological weapon out there by the Chinese government. Get it out there, get it working, get it out there, get it working. And so they had a lot of people working on it that shouldn't have been working on it. And the only way you can get a lot of people to work on it is to lower the level of security. Higher level of security, fewer people are able to work on it. It takes longer to work on. He added, virus collection, culture, isolation, or animal infection would pose a substantial risk of infection of a lab worker from the lab worker, then the public. Duh. He concluded that the evidence left a basis to rule out that coronavirus is a lab construct, but no basis to rule out a lab accident. I think it's somewhere kind of in between, actually. I do see paperwork, and I have seen paperwork that shows that, yeah, they got a lot of funding for trying to make this into a biological weapon. But none of that is absolutely 100% confirmed. That's just me looking at the paperwork and saying, things aren't making sense here. But then again, I kind of have a knack for when things don't make sense and being right about it. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. You guys are valuable. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves. I want to see every single one of you on the other side. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.